everyone, and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin, and today we are going to finish, hopefully, the Hobbit Saga doing the Battle of 5 Armies. Let's jump in. Enraged by the theft of his treasure, Smaug launched a savage attack on Lake Town to revenge himself on those he deemed responsible. There, in an unforeseen turn of events, Smaug was slain by Bard the Bowman when an old thrush brought him the knowledge of the dragon's weak spot, learned from Bilbo Baggins. In the aftermath of Smaug's death and the ruin of Esgaroth, the armies of men, elves, and dwarves converged on the Lonely Mountain to lay their claim to the dragon's hoard. But before their dispute could come to an unhappy blows, an even greater threat descended suddenly from the north. An army of orcs and wargs had come to take the treasure of Erebor for themselves. Dread has come upon you all, alas! It has come more swiftly than I guessed. The goblins are upon you, Bolg of the north is coming, O Dane, whose father you slew in Moria. Behold, the bats are above his army, like a sea of locusts. They ride upon wolves, and wargs are in their train. This is Gandalf. Good thing we have Gandalf in our deck. Let's see if he can help us. We are going to search the encounter deck for Bolg and add him to the staging area. Then we're going to shuffle the encounter deck and reveal one encounter card since we're playing with one deck. He is, as a lot of the unique characters in this game are, immune to player card effects. He cannot leave the staging area, and the first goblin revealed each round gains Surge. Let's reveal our first and only encounter card. Oh, it's not going to be our only one. It's a goblin. It's going to gain Surge. When revealed, remove 1 progress from every quest stage in play. We don't have to worry about that, but we are going to have to reveal our next card. It's just a location, Hidden Path. While Hidden Path is the active location, locations in the stage area get -1 threat. In order to travel there, though, we have to spend 2 Bilbo resources. Ever since the fall of the great goblin of the Misty Mountains, the hatred of their race for the dwarves had been rekindled to fury. Messengers had passed to and fro between all their cities, colonies, and strongholds, for they resolved now to win the dominion of the north. When revealed, put stages 2, 3, 4 into play at the same time and remove this from the game. Bard and some of the nimblest of men and elves climbed to the height of the eastern shoulder to gain a view of the north. Soon they could see the lands before the mountains, feet black with hurrying multitude. Ugh. We need to place 8 progress on this quest card. We cannot advance to quest card 5 until 2, 3, and 4 have been completed. If there's no progress on this stage at the end of the round, each player is going to have to discard 1 card randomly from their hand. That was the eastern slopes. We also have the battle in Dale. As soon as the host of their enemies was dense in the valley, they sent against it a shower of arrows, and each flickered as it fled, as if with stinging fire. Behind the arrows, thousands of their spearmen leapt down and charged. The yells were deafening. The rocks were stained with black, with goblin blood. We have the same effect here. We cannot move on until all quest cards 2, 3, and 4 have 8 progress on them or more. This is a battle quest card. So if I choose this as our main quest, we're actually going to quest with our attack, not our willpower. If there is no progress on this stage at the end of the round, the first player adds the topmost enemy to the discard from the discard pile to the staging area if able. Not fun. On all this, Bilbo looked with misery. He had taken his stand on Ravenhill among the elves, partly because there was more chance of escape from that point, and partly, with the more tookish part of his mind, because if he was going to be in the last desperate stand, he preferred on the whole to defend the Elven King. This quest card is a siege quest card. We have to use our defense instead of willpower when we commit to this quest, if we decide to make this one the active. If there's no progress on this stage at the end of the round, then we'll have to discard all of our resources that are on our heroes. So we have to use them or lose them. I think it's safe to say we are going to use all of our treasure cards. I'm going to shuffle them into my deck after we draw our initial hand. I believe I did that wrong in the last playthrough, not that it mattered, but I believe these will go into my deck after we've drawn our initial 6 cards. We'll draw 6 cards. We have King Under the Mountain. We have a Test of Will. I like that. We have a Gandalf. We have Keeley. We have an Unexpected Courage, and we have Hardy Leadership. The biggest thing I don't see here is a way to get a ton of allies out right away, which is super important. So I think I'm going to mulligan this. We'll try this again. We have a Sneak Attack. We have a Dunedain Remedy, King Under the Mountain. We have a Test of Will. We have a Very Good Tale. And we have the Dwarven Sellsword. All right, let me shuffle in my treasures and we'll draw one more card. Our final card will be Narvi's Belt. Here we have our 4 starting heroes with 32 threat. I think the first thing we're going to do is spend 1 resource from Bilbo. We're going to grab one of the treasure cards, and you know which one we're going to grab, Bilbo's Magic Ring. The whole reason we're going to do that is we're going to pop that on him. We're then going to exhaust that ring so we can generate another resource for Bilbo, and that's going to increase our threat by 1 to 33. But then we can spend that resource again to find another treasure card, and I think the one we're going to go for is the one we just recently found, which is our Thor's Golden Cup, and we're definitely going to use this right away to draw 3 more cards. We'll draw our 3 cards, and we have Orcrist. This is an amazing weapon. It gives a +2 to the attack. After the attached hero destroys an orc, enemy add 1 resource to their resource pool. Yeah, I think I know who that's going on, Thorin. We have a Will of the West, and we have an Heirloom Miner. Without a doubt, we're going to put Orcrist on to Thorin. Thorin will then gain 2 more for his strength of attack. That means he's a 5 attacker. That means he can quest for 5 on that battle one if we'd like. I then think I'm going to use all 3 of these resources. It's a bit risky, but remember, I'm not going to be able to leave any resources likely, and I'm going to get out the Heirloom Miner, just so that way I have 4 dwarves. I just need 1 more out. But now I have no resources, so that means no Test of Will. Don't forget, because I played a dwarf from my hand, I get to reduce my threat down to 32. Thank you, Nori. I'm going to use this ring to denote which of my quest cards is going to be the active one. We are definitely going to choose this one. I do not want to be overwhelmed with too many enemies. So if I can at least get 1 progress on here, then I don't have to worry about this negative effect. In the staging area, I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threat that I need to deal with. I'm questing with our attack, so definitely Thorin's going to quest for 5, 3 plus 2, which is 5. Actually, it's 6. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's do 9. Oh boy, 9 to 5. We'll draw that top encounter card, and we have a goblin. Now, fortunately, we've already had a goblin surge, so I don't believe this one will. When this enemy attacks, remove 1 progress from the current quest. It's a 1, 3, 0, 3. We quested for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We get to place 3 beautiful progress on that active quest card. Oh, thank goodness. Moving to that travel phase, we're not going to be able to travel to the hidden path. We need to be able to spend 2 Bilbo resources. I don't have any. I used them to get 2 treasure cards, which I still feel okay with. Instead, we are going to have to engage this enraged wolf rider, but I think we can leave this climber out because our threat's at 32, its engagement cost is 33, and it's only adding 1 threat. So let's engage this wolf rider. The Wolf Rider attacks for 3. We'll grab a shadow card, and I don't think we're going to defend. You gotta take risks at the beginning. I will say this is my 5th time playing, and when I don't take risks, I get overloaded, completely overloaded with enemies. So I'm gonna go undefended. We're gonna flip this. Okay, no shadow effect. So we're just gonna have to deal 3 damage to someone. We also are going to remove 1 progress from the current quest because of its effect. You know who can take 3 damage? Dane. Dane's totally fine. He's got 5 health. Then during the combat phase, we'll be able to attack. We're going to attack with 2 and 1 here, which is a total of 3. Nori and Dane are going to work together. We're going to take out this Wolf Rider. At the end of the round, we have to lose all of our resources. We don't have any, so that's fine. But we also have to randomly lose 1 card from our hand. Our hand's kind of big. But I don't really want to lose any of these. We're going to lose the Will of the West. That's actually, of all of them, that's not terrible. We're then going to increase our threat up to 33. We'll generate our resources, and we'll draw a single card, and we have Gandalf. To start this round, I think the first thing we're going to do is exhaust that magic ring so we can generate another resource for Bilbo, but that will increase our threat up to 34. Then I think we are going to use our Dunedain Remedy. We can attach this to a hero. After it's attached to a hero, heal 1 damage from that hero. We can then pay a resource from that hero to move it to another hero and help them heal. We're going to place this on Dane, so hopefully he doesn't die, at least too quickly. I then think we're going to take a bit of a chance here. Having Sneak Attack and Gandalf in our hand is just too good to pass up on. So I'm going to spend one resource from Dane, and we're going to drop out Gandalf right now. We can either draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage to an enemy, or reduce our threat by 5. I think I'm going to do the threat reduction. We're going to go from 34 down to 29. I like it. What do you say then we play a very good tail? We can exhaust 2 allies that we control to shuffle our deck, discard the top 5 cards, and put 2 allies into play. The 2 allies' total cost now can be up to 8, which is pretty awesome. Here we have our deck. Let's give it a good shuffle. Okay, 5 cards. We want to see some good allies here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what we find. Well, it looks like we have 2 allies that we can put out, Gloin and the Erebor Guard. That's actually not terrible. I won't have to pay for either one of these, and I'm discarding a hidden cache. And with that, I'm definitely going to place 2 resources onto Thorin. Because of that, I'll be able to pay 2 of my 3 resources on Thorin to play King Under the Mountain. And then we'll exhaust it to draw 2 cards, discard 1, and keep the other. We can either keep the Dwarven Shield, or we have the Arid Loon Miner. Yeah, we'll discard the Arid Loon Miner because he'll come out into play, and then we'll place the Dwarven Shield into our hand. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing now. What we're going to do then is grab Gandalf back into our hand because we're going to finish the preparation phase. Let's move to questing. We have 5 threat in the staging area. I think I'm going to choose the Eastern Spur as our active quest. That means we'll use willpower for this questing. And as long as we can get 1 progress on here and we don't have to discard it, we then won't have to discard random cards from our hand. With 5 threat, we'll send Gloin for 3. We'll send Nori for 6. We'll send Bilbo for 7. And we'll send this Heirloom Miner for 9. We'll draw our first encounter card, and we have, when revealed, each enemy engaged with a player makes an immediate attack. Do not deal it a shadow card. If no attacks were made by this effect, because we are not engaged, so we don't have to worry about that, this card gains Surge. Yeah, of course it gains Surge. So let's flip our next one. Each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for a goblin enemy and put it into play engaged with them, then shuffle the encounter deck. This maybe isn't terrible. It's not going to place... You know what? Let's do it. It has to be a goblin enemy, and it's not being revealed, so therefore Bolg will not happen. Let's grab this archer. We can ignore the when revealed, and it's immediately engaged with us. We quested for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, so that means we get to place 4 wonderful progress on the Eastern Spur. That also means that now, as long as that's still going to be there, we will not have to discard a random card from our hand. Then, during the travel phase, we are definitely going to spend the 2 resources here, and we're going to travel to the hidden path. Next, during the encounter phase, we are still at 29 threat thanks to Gandalf, so we can leave this climber out in the staging area, and let's just deal with that 1 enemy. This goblin attacks for 2. We will go ahead and exhaust our Erebor Guard, who has 2 defense. We do have a shadow effect. The attacking enemy gets +1, +2 of undefended. Whew, so it's only +1. That means we'll deal 1 damage to the Erebor Guard. We then need a total of 4 damage to take this guy out. The nice thing is we have 3 + 2 here, which is 5. That will be more than enough to take him out. Technically, we would be able to, because of this, generate a resource, but I'm not even going to worry about that because we're going to have to discard all of our resources. I got to take care of that one hopefully next round. We'll increase our threat up to 30, and then let's draw our cards and generate resources. And now Thorin will generate 2 resources. We'll draw a card, and we have for ourselves an Unexpected Courage. Ooh, that is nice. Looking at my hand this round, I think what I might go with is the Dwarven... Well, I've got 2 options. I could do the Dwarven Shield to get +1 defense, because I'm thinking of doing the Siege quest, or I could do the Dwarven Sellsword, which would give us 2 additional shield, but then I have to pay a resource each round to keep them out. But you know what? I kind of like that, and it will push down our threat. So Let's go ahead and pay for the Dwarven Sellsword. And you can see here it says at the end of the round, discard him unless the players spend as a group 1 leadership resource. This will push down our threat back down to 29, and we have to spend 1. We'll spend 1 from Dane. We're definitely going to choose our siege quest here, so we really want to get 8 if we could. I highly doubt that. And we do have an active quest, or an active location, so it'd actually have to be 9. We do only have 2 threat in the staging area. Of course, before I do any of this, I really should do King Under the Mountain. I love being able to look at the top 2 cards, keep one and discard the other. Oh, I have a Test of Will or Will of the West. I definitely think I'm going to keep the Will of the West because I do have a Test of Will in my hand, and the Will of the West will allow me to reshuffle my deck. Now for our questing. We're definitely going to send Dane. He can quest for 3. We'll have 1 from Bilbo, that's 4. We'll do 2 here from Nori, that's 5, 6. We'll do 2 here, 7, 8. We'll do 2 more, 9, 10. Oh, do I want to push any more? Let's do 1 Heirloom Miner, so that's 11. We'll reveal our first one, and we have, we've seen this one. Each enemy engaged with a player makes an immediate attack. If no attacks were made, this just gains Surge. So let's get rid of that. We'll draw our next one. Oh, we have Weighted Down. Until the end of the round, exhausted characters get -1 to everything. Yeah, that would really hurt our questing. I do have this other Test of Will in my hand. I will use Nori's 1 resource. We're definitely going to cancel that. Well, this worked out pretty well. We quested for 11. 10, 9, we need 1 to get through the hidden path, and then we can place 8 on here. So as long as I don't lose that 8, which is not, the chances of that are low. We're likely going to lose them. There's some locations that will do that to us. But for the off chance that it doesn't happen, we have our 8 progress here. Now we can't travel anywhere. Do we want to try and take out this Gundabad Climber? He only attacks for 2, so why the heck not? During that encounter phase, let's engage him. The other thing I think we're going to do is exhaust the magic ring, and we are going to increase our threat up to 30 so we can generate another Bilbo resource. There are some locations where we need 3 of his resources, so that way we'll have that. We have our climber here. We'll grab a shadow card. We'll exhaust Gloin. He has 1 defense. This guy's attacking for 2. We'll flip this over. We do have a shadow effect. If this attack destroys a character, remove all progress from the current quest. Ha! We don't have to worry about that. It'll only deal 1 damage to Gloin. Gloin will take 1, and that means we should be able to take him out. Thorin here attacks for 5, and we only need 4 damage. He's gone. We will also generate a resource, and we'll actually get to keep that one. That's because we just destroyed an orc. We'll then move to the end of the round, going up to 31 threat. We're going to pay 1 resource to keep that sellsword out. We will refresh, generate resources, and draw a card. And we will draw an Erebor Battlemaster. Oh, I need to get him out. To start this round, why don't we play Narvi's Belt? We're going to attach this to Thorin, attached to a dwarf hero. We can exhaust Narvi's Belt to give the attached hero 1 of a different type of resource until the end of the phase. We'll spend 1 from Thorin, and we'll spend 1 from Dane to do this, and we will attach this to Thorin. Now, what I'd love to do is exhaust that so I could get the Erebor Battlemaster out. I'd spend these 3 resources, but then that would mean this Dwarven Sellsword, potentially we'd have to discard it, because if we did not have another leadership resource, we couldn't keep him out until the end of the round. I like him. I'm going to leave him. A 2/2/2 with 3 health is nothing to scoff at. So instead, I think the other thing we're going to do is simply play our Dwarven Shield here. I'm going to place that underneath Dane. That's going to cost us 2 resources, so we only have 1 leadership resource left. But now Dane has +1 defense. So if ever we lose the progress on that siege quest, we can quest with him for 4, but also he's a good defender. I'm realizing we did not use the magic ring this turn. I am going to exhaust, here we go, King Under the Mountain, so I can draw 2 cards, and let's see. Okay, we either have a sneak attack or a minor. We're definitely going to grab the sneak attack because I have a Gandalf in my hand, so why the heck not? We only have 1 threat in the staging area, and that's Bolg, so let's go ahead and quest at the Battle of Dale. This is using our attack then for questing. We'll send Thorin for a total of 3, 4, 5, plus with Dane's ability 6. Then we'll send the Dwarven Sellsword 7, 8, 9. We'll send Bilbo for 10, and let's send Gloin for 11, 12, and 1 Heirloom Miner for 13, 14. Oh, 14 to 1. Let's draw our first encounter card. Oh no, not the bodyguards. The bodyguards of Bolg. So this will gain Surge. It'll add 2 threat. Bolg cannot take damage. When this enemy attacks, deal an additional shadow card for each quest in play with no progress tokens on it. Ha! They all have progress tokens on it at least. So we only have 1 shadow card, but we have to draw another one. Oh, we have a location. The Northern Slopes. While Northern Slopes is in the staging area, each goblin enemy gets +1 attack and +1 defense. While Northern Slopes is the active location, it gains when a character leaves play, remove 1 progress from the current quest if able. We quested for 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. We'll place 8 more progress on that quest though. That's actually nice. It gives us a little buffer because we already had 2 from before, so 3, 6, 7, 8. I'm liking it. We're then definitely going to travel to the Northern Slopes, but while it's the active location, when a character leaves play, we'd have to remove progress from the current quest. We'll now move to the encounter phase, and it becomes the question of, do we want to try and take these guys on? We just used all of our attackers for questing. We would need 7 damage to take them out, and we need to block for a 4 hit. Now, Dane could block the 4 hit, but I don't know if we could even deal him any damage. And looking at what we have on the table, I think we're just going to leave him. We can deal with the threat, or the threat in the staging area, and we're only at 31 threat, so his engagement cost is higher. He doesn't even see us. So I think we're just going to end the round. We'll go up to 32 threat. We'll also discard the 1 resource that's on Thorin to pay for that Dwarven Sellsword. We will generate resources and draw a card. We've generated resources. Let's go ahead and draw, and we have another test of will. Ooh, that's kind of nice. However, to start us off, I think it makes total sense to put out an unexpected courage. I'm just deciding if it's going to be on Dane or Thorin. I think with where we are in the game, it's got to be Dane, so Dane can take a hit and then ready to increase everyone else's attack. So we'll place that onto Dane. Then I think we're going to use Bilbo's action here to spend 1 of his resources to search our deck for a treasure card and put it into our hand. Yeah, let's put Glamdring out, and let's also put that onto Thorin. So Thorin will now get +2 more attack. If he takes out an orc, he will not only generate a resource, but he's also going to draw a card. Yeah. Then you know what? Let's be even crazier. This is an action. We can do it again. We are going to spend this resource to find another treasure card. What about that Arkenstone? This Arkenstone is going to cost 0, and we're going to drop it on to Thorin. Then what we can do is change Thorin's sphere over to tactics because he has his Narvi's belt. And then we can reduce the cost of that Erebor Battlesmith that's in our hand and put it out into play. I feel like a little kid here, you guys. I'm going to use that Arkenstone. I'm going to use Narvi's belt, so I'm going to make his resources tactics as well. I'm going to increase my threat by 2 to reduce the cost of Erebor Battlesmith by 2. So I only have to spend 1 leadership resource. That means, and actually it's a tactics resource, that way I can get out the Erebor Battle Master. Come with us, my friend. That, of course, will reduce our threat by 1, thanks to Nori, and we definitely have 4 total dwarf allies, so we'll increase his attack by 4. Our big man's in play. He attacks right now for 6 because of Dane. This is what we have in the staging area. We're most certainly going to make the spur here, the active quest card, because once I get 8 progress on here, I can move to stage 5, and we can finish the game. Our location, though, we need 3 progress, plus we need, 4 there? So we need a total of 8, and we have 3 in the staging area. We'll send Nori for 3, then Bilbo for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We'll flip our top card, and we have a Goblin Orc, which means we're going to have to surge, unfortunately. Each player must deal 2 damage to a character he controls. Nori looks pretty hardy. Let's give the 2 damage to him. That will surge into... Oh no, surge. When revealed, choose a different quest to be the current quest until the end of the round. Now I have a test of will, but I have no blue resources. That means we're not going to be able to move on. I have to choose a new quest. Oh man. Okay, so I think the quest I'm going to choose is going to be the Defenders of Ravenhill. So now we're using our shields as our questing. But I'm doing that because I only have 8 progress on there. So if I do get progress on there, great. That means I get extra ones on there because there are goblins that take them off of every quest. But this, of course, surges. It surges into, the Ruin of Dale. Immune to player card effects. Remove 2 progress from stage 3B. That's the Battle of Dale at the end of each round of Abel. Travel, we have to spend 3 Bilbo resources to travel here. 1 instead if stage 3B is the current quest. Here's what we have in the staging area. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we have to recalculate our questing because we're now questing with our defense. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1 left over. Oh man, so we only placed 1 progress, and that 1 progress goes on the active location. We needed a total of 3 to get through the northern slopes, and that's not happening. We just have 1. We have 2 enemies in the staging area. Unfortunately, they're both actually above our current threat of 33, so I can only optionally engage one of them. They're each hitting our threat for 2. This guy is bigger though, and I think we should be able to take him out no problem with Thorin, so let's go ahead and grab him. We'll grab a shadow card for these bodyguards, and we will definitely defend with Dane, and then I'm going to use his unexpected courage, so he's ready to rock. So this guy's attacking for 4. He has 3 plus 1, which is 4 defense. We'll flip this, not the dark bats. I hate the dark bats. It says here, attach this card to the defending character. Well, the defending character gains -1 to everything. So that now means Dane is 3 for defense, which means this guy's going to deal him 1 point of damage. Oh boy. So he only has 2 health remaining. However, he does have that shield, so I'm going to exhaust this so he can generate 1 resource. Yeah, still not great though. However, Thorin here has Dane's back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 1, which is 8. We only needed 7 to take this guy out, so he's gone. We will, well, I have to exhaust him. We will generate a resource, which is great. But then, you know what the other thing is? We get to draw a card. So our card we're going to draw is Hardy Leadership. That is amazing. At the end of the round, because the Ruin of Dale is here, we have to remove 2 progress from stage 3B. So now we only have 3, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we still have 8 here. Okay, what that means is I need to, if I can get enough progress on here, this happens at the end of the round, we might still be able to move to quest 5, and then this effect will not matter. Let's also bump up our threat up to 34. I definitely want to keep my Dwarven Sellsword out, so I'm also going to spend a resource from here, from Dane. Thank you, Dane. Now let's refresh. That's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and draw our card. We have Feely. Okay, I think starting off with Feely right off the get-go. He costs 3. We will spend 1. I'm going to keep 1 just in case I want to move the signal here. 2, 3 resources. That will bump down our threat back down to 33. And let's go ahead and find Keely. Keely, my man, was actually the next card in my deck. That's kind of awesome. I'll put him here. Remember, that one did not come from my hand, so that's why I don't get to decrease my threat for playing him out. But 2 more dwarves, I will take that. I then feel like I need to put out Hardy Leadership. I'm going to spend the 2 resources to do that from Thorin, and now all dwarves have +1 health. Then I'm going to exhaust King Under the Mountain because I don't want to forget about that. I'll look at both of these. Okay, I've got the Dwarven Shield. I'm going to put that into my hand and discard this one. The nice thing is if I get that shield back out onto Dane, he'll re-get this +1 defense. Actually, just so that I don't think he has that, I'm going to discard it because technically he's -1 all of these. Then I do think I'm going to spend my final resource from here, and we're going to find our final treasure, which is Sting. And we're going to slide that on him just so he gets a +1 to everything. And I'd say that's pretty good for right now. Let's go ahead and see how much we have in the staging area. We're definitely choosing the Eastern Spur as our active quest. We need 2 more progress here. Plus, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 4 more there. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need to get 11 total questing at least. We have 3 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then 17, 18, 19. I think that's pretty good. We'll draw our top card, and we have a Ravenous Warg. This is a creature. It's not an orc. It doesn't gain surge. It adds 2 threat to the staging area. I think we might be okay then. When Ravenous Warg attacks, the defending player must declare the character he controls with the most damage as the defender, even if exhausted. Whoa, that's kind of crazy. We quested for 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, placed 10 progress on here. That means this is gone, and that means we have completed all 3 of our staging areas. Let's move to staging quest card 5. The clouds burst. Soon the attackers were attacked, and they were forced into a great ring, facing every way, hemmed all about with goblins and wolves returning to the assault. The bodyguard of Bolg came howling against them and drove in upon their ranks like waves upon cliffs of sand. When revealed, each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of a bodyguard of Bolg and add it to the staging area, if able. Shuffle the encounter deck. Yay, we have another enemy. That will be our 4th enemy out in the staging area. We know what they look like. They're the 2/4/2/5s. Progress cannot be placed on this stage. When Bolg is in the staging area, it's considered to be engaged with the first player. If Bolg is destroyed, the players win the game. So that's all we need to do is destroy Bolg. That's all we need to do, right? Nice and simple. We got to take out Bolg, and we've got to take him out fast. So the first thing we're going to do is exhaust Bilbo's magic ring. We're going to pop ourselves up to 34 threat so we can generate our 3rd Bilbo resource. We're then going to use all 3 of these resources so that we can travel. We're going to make the Ruin of Dale the active location. Here are the 3 enemies that we can engage. I'm going to optionally engage this bodyguard. I want to get rid of him ASAP because he's making Bolg immune to being able to take damage. So I am optionally engaging him. I am then going to have to engage the Ravenous Warg because my total threat is 34. But I have a plan. Don't forget, Bolg himself is also engaged with us. Each enemy will gain a shadow card, and now we're going to have a little shenanigans. What do you say during that combat phase we sneak in Gandalf? We have 1 resource left on Dane, let's use it. Dane will no longer have this resource, but Gandalf is going to come into play. And one of the things Gandalf can do is deal 4 damage to any enemy. Now, we cannot do it to Bolg. First of all, he's immune to player card effects, but second of all, because that bodyguard is out. However, we're not going to use him for any of that. We're just going to use Gandalf to take out this Warg. This Warg has 3 health. I could hit the bodyguard, but the bodyguard has 5, so he wouldn't take him out. So both of these are discarded. We're then going to use Gandalf as a defender against the attack from Bolg himself. Bolg is attacking for 6, and we'll flip this up. It says attacking enemy gets +1 for each goblin enemy engaged with you, so 7, 8. He's attacking for 8. That actually is enough to take Gandalf out. Oh, that's a bummer. I was not expecting that. I was hoping to have him back. 4 and 4, 8, he's gone. That means we'll definitely use Dane to defend against the bodyguard. Remember, his defense is only 3 now, so it's a little bit risky. We are going to use the Unexpected Courage to ready him, but he does have 6 health, so he still can take 3 damage. And you know what? If you look at this, when this enemy attacks, deal it an additional shadow card for each quest in stage and play with no progress on it. We can't place progress on that last phase. That's why it said that. So I have 2 shadow cards here. The first one is no effect. Hey, it's another bodyguard. And the second one is no effect. Wow, that was super, super fortunate. That will mean Dane will take his 4th damage, but hey, thanks to that dwarven shield, he'll gain 1 resource, but we'll have to exhaust that. Now, though, it's time for the offensive. Thorin is going to attack 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, +1 with Dane. That's 8. 8 damage. He's going to take out that bodyguard. No problem. That's going to generate a resource, and that's going to allow us to draw a card. So we will draw another Erebor Battlemaster. Oh my gosh, this game. Then we're going to put a good chink in the armor of Bolg. We have our Erebor Battlemaster here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm only going to do 5 damage from him. I'm going to send Dane as well. 6, 7. And I'm going to send 1 from our Erebor Guard. 8. 8 damage. He has 3 armor. That means we dealt 5 damage to Bolg. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. These dwarves. Okay. That means we're going to end the round. We're going to increase our threat up to 35. We have to pay a resource to keep our Dwarven Sellsword. I will use Dane's resource for that. And then let's go ahead and refresh and draw a card. We've set up our resources. Let's draw our card, and we have another Narvi's belt. We'll start this round by using our King Under the Mountain. That'll allow us to draw our top 2 cards. Oh, this costs 5. This will only cost 2, but then we don't have a test of will. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get either one of these out, but I love this guy, the Soldier of Erebor. I was hoping to show him to you, but he's just so expensive. He's from one of the new packs. You can discard the top 3 cards of your deck to ready him, limit once per round. So you can use him to defend, because he's got 3 defense, and then you can attack with him for 3. You have to discard cards from the top of your deck, but heck, with this deck, that wouldn't be terrible. I think instead what we're going to do is exhaust the belt that we have so that we can play a tactics character. We're going to play another Erebor Battle Master. That's what I'm talking about. 3 resources here. Bolg has no chance. Don't forget that decreases our threat by 1 because we played a dwarf from our hand. In the staging area, we have a total of 2 plus 1, which is 3. I think we can handle that. We'll send Bilbo for 2. Then we've got Keely for 4. Feely for 6. And then Gloin 7, 8, 9. And let's do our... let's do one of these guys for 11. Oh, and what am I saying? I'm not going to do him. Go back to 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. We'll flip our top card, and we have a Vanguard of Bolg. This enemy gets +1 of everything while there's a stage in play with no progress on it. Yeah, there's a stage in play with no progress on it. So that's 2 threat, and that's going to surge. When revealed, the first player names a sphere. I'm not even going to look at that. I'm just going to play my test of will. We have a resource here on Nori. See ya. We quested for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We can't place any here. This location is gone. That means we'll just move right into the encounter phase. We know Bolg is engaged with us, and we're going to have to take this Vanguard because he's only at 20 for engagement cost. We'll definitely leave this archer out. We'll deal out shadow cards, 1 to each enemy. Okay, Bolg is attacking for 6. I don't think Dane can take that, so we're going to just have to lose an Erebor guard, I think, on this one. Let's defend with him, and then let's look at our shadow card. We'll flip our shadow card, and we have the Misty Mountain Eagle. Are you serious? A shadow. Deal 3 damage to the attacking enemy. 3 damage. 5 plus 3. Remember, this is immune to player card effects, but this is an encounter card. 5 plus 3 is 8. I think we just won the game from the Eagles. That's going to deal 3 damage to Bolg. Bolg has only 8 health. He had 5 damage from before. The Eagle just won our entire campaign. That is ridiculously cool. Yeah, I'm looking here. If Bolg is destroyed, the players win the game. I will take that. I think technically the attack would still go through and our Erebor guard would be gone, but that is pretty dang good. Oh, that was awesome, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I love the saga, the Hobbit saga. Now, I've got to say, if you're going to choose one or the other, without a doubt, do the Lord of the Rings saga. It is way more epic. The campaign, you've got burdens and boons. It's so much cooler. But this one's nice because it's tight, it's short, it's only 6 quests long. And I'm telling you, this one is a real challenge. And even the first scenario is a challenge. You get thrown into sacks and... Yeah, it's super fun. I love playing, though, with a dwarf deck. I highly recommend doing that. You can see it does work. It did take me a couple times to beat this one, because if you don't get dwarves out quickly, you're going to have a hard time. So make sure you tell some good tales, or you can find different ways to get those dwarf allies out. Thank you so much for watching this whole saga. I really appreciate it. If you want to see another one and you haven't seen the Lord of the Rings saga, I'll put a link in the description below for that 34 video long quest series, but it's super fun. I recommend it because, yeah, it's wonderful. I think our next stop for Lord of the Rings is some more long extended party scenarios. I've got 2 more that I need to do, and then I think I'm going to keep this on the table for a little bit, and we might get ourselves back into the Lost Realm. I'll see you at the next stop.